Hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of The More You Pwn. Today's lesson will be about BionicDance using a clip of Richard Dawkins to endorse her on a video where she gives out positions that Richard Dawkins does not hold, thus giving the illusion that Richard Dawkins would approve of the message that she is giving out, when in fact he does not at all.
You're watching BionicDance. Don't run on automatic, instead, please think.
Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. I didn't actually want to cover this subject again, but hey, it's been a while, and I was specifically asked to, so hey. Babies are atheists. Let's do this. So what exactly makes someone an atheist? As far as I'm concerned, as long as the number of gods you believe in is 0, you're an atheist. It doesn't matter why you don't believe in gods, you just don't believe in any. That's what it means as far as I'm concerned, as far as a lot of people are concerned.
Now, some of us do have clips of Richard Dawkins and themselves together that they could be using in order to pimp their channels. But we're more scrupulous because we would never put words in somebody else's mouth or give that illusion that they're endorsing what we're saying. Okay? Case in point, BionicDance comes out again with the binary set definition of you're either an atheist or a theist, nothing in between. But here in my first edition of the God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, who she's using to endorse her, on mine it's page 50, but on yours, if you don't have an earlier edition, it might be page 73 or 4. Yeah. Dawkins uses a model of 7 different points on a spectrum, and he calls himself the de facto atheist. So, yeah, that's the model that he's using. The reason why he's using a different model than BionicDance's binary set is because in science you want your models to reflect reality, and if you were to say all babies are atheists, well, how does that affect reality? Can you use that model to predict which babies will turn out to be atheists or not? Will that determine whether or not they are atheists in the future? No, that model sucks on predicting who's going to be an atheist in the future if you're calling all babies atheists to begin with. So, yeah, while I will say that the binary set that has gotten Kate labeled as binary dunce, it might have some use somewhere. I have not found any way that this binary set really describes reality and becomes useful. And Richard Dawkins does not use it himself. Next, what I want to say about BionicDance using Richard Dawkins at the beginning of her making this point about babies being atheists, there's a few quotes in Richard Dawkins' book. The first I'm going to go with is on page 315 of the first edition. Fourth, to pursue the same theme is the assumption that a 6-year-old child can properly be said to have a religion at all, whether it is Jewish or Christian or anything else. To put it another way, the idea that baptizing an unknowing, uncomprehending child can change him from one religion to another at a stroke seems absurd. But it is surely not more absurd than labeling a tiny child as belonging to any particular religion in the first place. Now, BionicDance apologists might be chomping at the bit right now to say that I'm taking that or anything else out of context and stretching it a bit far. But I've got a little bit more evidence in this book by Richard Dawkins that he does not hold the position that Kate holds. From page 338 of the first edition, TheBrights.net, an American initiative to rebrand atheists as brights the same way as homosexuals successfully branded themselves as gays, is scrupulous in setting out the rules for children to sign up. The decision to be a bright must be a child's. Any youngster who is told he or she must or should be a bright cannot be a bright. Now, that line actually follows a story that I have a video clip of Richard Dawkins retelling himself, and what I want you to pay attention to is the way that Richard Dawkins brings ridicule on those people who would call a 4-year-old child an atheist.
And I want to raise our consciousness about some unconscious assumptions we all make about religion. Let me try a little experiment on you. At Christmas time one year, my newspaper in Britain, The Independent, was looking for a seasonal picture, and they found a heartwarmingly ecumenical one at a school nativity play. The 3 wise men were played by Shadbreet, a Sikh, Musharraf, a Muslim, and Adele, a Christian, all aged 4. Now my guess is that you probably think that picture's rather sweet. How nice that 4-year-olds who belong to different religions should come together in a nativity play. Now suppose the caption said this: Shadbreet, a socialist, Musharraf, a conservative, and Adele, a liberal, all aged 4. Shadbreet, an atheist, Musharraf, an agnostic, and Adele, a secular humanist, all aged 4. I'm trying to raise consciousness. I hope that that series of 3 slides has raised your consciousness. I hope that every time from now on you hear anybody talking about, say, a Catholic child, or a Protestant child, or a Muslim child, you will protest. You will say, you wouldn't talk about a postmodernist child, or a Keynesian child, or a Hayekian monetarist child. There is no such thing as a Catholic child. There's only a child of Catholic parents. There's no such thing as a Protestant child. Only a child of Protestant parents. There's no such thing as a Muslim child. Only a child of Muslim parents. I repeat these slogans over and over again, probably too often. Too often? It can't be too often when you're in the business of consciousness raising. Please join me in protesting every time you hear anyone ever referring to a Catholic child, a Christian child, a Muslim child, etc.